These elections is going to have its own challenge, and we are preparing ourselves to do the same. We actually, I hope, Mr. Chair, you will also have an engagement, hopefully, with the judiciary, so that we receive great support when these people who are propagating fake news are arrested and charged. We also want to receive great support from the judiciary. The Inspector General of Police, through the DCI, is working hard. We have resourced the DCI to have the capability and the tools to be able to detect these cyber criminals, and it's important that we deal with it with finality so that we do not generate a fake IBC chair, a fake IBC returning officer announcing results in some corner, and that is really the challenge coming this year. But I am very proud to say that I was in the committee, the special committee in the Senate that passed the election laws after the 2013 elections. And in 2016, when we put in place those legislation, one of the biggest reforms that we put was in the committee led by Graitu and Orengo, and which I served as a member, is this proper statement that elections end at the polling station. And so I think that has saved us a lot of problems, because even when goons want to put a lot of energy in the tallying center, it's an exercise in futility, because there are verifiable results from the polling station that can be tallied, any time. Of course, that is not to say that we will not do our job to protect the polling center, but I think that was a significant reform that ensured that past malpractices where results were changed between the polling station and the tallying center is now a thing of the past. And I think some of those legislative frameworks have really made a great, even though I saw that there was a presentation that changing laws is a threat, it's also an opportunity, because it was a last-minute law that we passed, but it made a big difference. Transnational foreign interference threats, we need to ensure that our elections is protected from external factors using disinformation, external financing to destabilize activities in our country, cross-border security threats, especially in border counties, and we are working hard to make sure that, working also with the intelligence community, to ensure that there is enhanced financial intelligence monitoring, interagency surveillance of cross-border security threats, and collaboration with regional and international partners and information integrity, and the continuous monitoring of foreign digital influence networks. On the social economic drivers of conflict, there has been long drivers of conflict, such as resource-based conflicts, livestock rustling, and socioeconomic stress, including acts of underlying acts that are accelerating stability. And the Commissioner Hassan has really captured that issue that we need to strengthen our local mediation and peace structures. We have trained our county commissioners. We recently trained our chiefs to make sure that they have the capabilities to undertake local mediation and peacekeeping, especially in pastoralist communities where we have many of these challenges. Community-based conflict also must be prevented. We're having a meeting now shortly between leaders from Wajir and Marsabit, and you must have seen in the news that even a small security installation there has became a point of conflict. And it's important to engage the leaders, but also to engage the local leaders there, and our Ngao leaders are properly trained to do so. There is targeted deployment of in the historical volatile areas, early planned and targeted deployment, and there's collaboration with county government on preventive interventions. There are also environmental challenges that we must deal with. Climate change disruptions, public health emergencies, and disaster-related displacements affect also electoral processes such as landslides and so forth. And I think, Mr. Chair, we should have, and for sure, we must think together, working with the Ministry of Environment and especially the weatherman, to simulate how the weather will look like across the country in August next year. And I challenge you that this year, because it is not just about the rains, it's also the drought. Because most of the people in marginalized areas may be disenfranchised. They may not be able to vote because of drought, and they have to walk long distance to go and deal with pasture. I don't know what IBC will do. Are you going to create a mobile polling stations, or what are you going to do to these voters? Are we going to say that people in the north, because they have gone 100 kilometers looking for pasture, they will be told to forget about elections, go you and suffer? And what lessons can we learn from these weather patterns? And it is not to me, it's for IBC to make the decision. But for us, is to be able to respond by having a contingency electoral security planning, prepositioning resources, especially when in the rainy areas. How do you transport? There are no roads, there are no bridges, there is security challenges in those places. And as a ministry that is also responsible for disaster response, this is an area that we must work together, especially through our disaster response department under PS Raymond Omolo. It's important to think through what we can do. And therefore, Mr. Chair, those are the commitments we are going to make. We want to say that the operational standards and this strategy needs to be adopted urgently, and we need to work together as a team. On the part of registration, before I conclude, because I'm just summarizing, there is a presentation, I don't know if somebody got it, that I wanted to project for you to just see. Mr. Chair, we have, you now have to turn, but I will just explain if it is, yes, it is there. That's a small brief on the issuance of national identity cards. And the directorate has registered 35 million Kenyans, and the figures on top, between 1995 and 2026. Those are people who are having IDs, out of which 17 million are female, and 17.7 are female, and 17.5